There's a paradoxical truth about stakeholder engagement. You know where the power lies, right? At the top. So you target your stakeholder engagement there, with the big hitters. But in this video, I'm going to argue for a different strategy. To start at the bottom. The problem with the big hitters is that these are the people with the least time for you. And they pride themselves on knowing their own mind. So influencing stakeholders at the top of the organisation is hard. It's especially hard if you're at the start of your career and towards the bottom of your organisation. But even if you're mid-career or at the top of your game, it's still hard to influence senior stakeholders. So I'd like to make the case for focusing a chunk of your stakeholder engagement towards the bottom of the organisation. Focus your network building with the people at the starts of their careers. This isn't, by the way, advice to abandon your attempt to influence people at the top of an organisation. Rather, it's a call for balance and a recognition that there is real value in influencing people at the bottom of the organisation and at the starts of their careers. I have 4 smart reasons for doing this, and the first 2 particularly apply to people at the start of your career. When you're at the early stages of your career, will the big players truly want to hear from you? If you want to influence them, there's a smarter way. And smart reason number 1 for engaging with people at the lower end of the organisation is because those people at the top often have people they trust, and necessarily those advisors, those confidants, are usually at a lower level than them. Which means if you can influence those people, then you can get to the people at the top. In my book, The Influence Agenda, I describe apex stakeholders. These are the people who have the greatest impact on influencing others. And they are not necessarily the people at the top of the organisation. Sometimes these are people who are able to influence because of their knowledge, wisdom, expertise. And sometimes the people at the top, the senior stakeholders, will listen to apex stakeholders who are lower down. If you can get to these apex stakeholders, you can amplify your influence. Smart reason number 2 for building your network and learning how to influence stakeholders at the bottom of an organisation is that a rising tide floats all boats. As you progress through your career, how are you going to be on a par and able to influence the senior stakeholders of tomorrow? By building your relationship with them now, when they're the junior stakeholders who have little influence themselves. The more you get to know and get the trust of people at the start of their careers and treat them well as they rise through their careers, the more you will find that as you reach the peak of your career, you have a ready ear from the other senior people in your industry and in your organisation. But what about when you are at the top of your career? When you are at the top of your organisation, you are one of those senior stakeholders yourself. Well, don't make the mistake of thinking that now I am an important person, I should only be speaking with other important people. That would be a mistake. Clearly, everyone is important. But there are another 2 smart reasons why you should spread your engagement throughout the ranks and engage fully with people at all levels and at the bottom level of your organisation. So smart reason number 3 is because senior people have secrets and they have become very good at guarding them. They've become expert at not saying what they think, at not sharing their thoughts about any topic, which means influencing and finding out things from other senior people is always going to be very difficult. But junior people don't yet have as many secrets, and they haven't learned as well how to guard their thoughts. Which means if you want to find out frank opinions about what's going on, then speak with the junior people. And if you yourself are more senior and you're seeking their thoughts, their advice, their guidance, then they will be flattered and only too willing to speak with you and have you listen to them. And smart reason number 4 is that the world is becoming less and less hierarchical. Now, I know it differs from culture to culture, but certainly in the prevailing cultures within the United States, Northern Europe, and the English-speaking nations, it's the case that cultures within organizations are becoming significantly less hierarchical. And I think that is spreading across many parts of the world as the dominance of these Northern European and US-based organizations increases. And what that means is that if you want to make change happen in an organization, it's not enough to have it solely led from the top. It's got to be led throughout the organization. There's got to be a substantial upwelling of desire to change from people throughout the organization. So you have to engage at all levels, build your network, and influence people at the top of the organization, at the middle, and at the lower levels of the organization and at the starts of their careers. If I had to sum it all up with one simple idea, it's this. You may look at someone and think of them as someone who is at the start of their career, but they're not. They're someone who has reached the peak of their career, but not yet. Everyone has the capability to rise, and therefore engage with people throughout the organisation, and in particular, start at the bottom. Please do give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. There'll be loads more great project management content, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.